Hi guys, this is Arif from TechShare. So the main idea of this is I'm going to develop a small, I would not say small, but a lightweight commerce engine. So let me give my introduction a bit. So I'm a commerce developer. So basically, I'm a sidecar commerce developer. I also have 4 or 5 years of experience in working in commerce, not commerce, sorry, working in sidecar platform. So I started working in sidecar commerce since 2018. So yeah, I mean, sidecar commerce, I would say, is not that big solution. So that is basically a .NET core based application. So any developer, if the guy uh, works with that solution, 6 or 7 months, I'd say, would be enough to get all sort of knowledge of sidecar commerce. So since I am working with the sidecar commerce now almost 2 years, so I actually got couple of I would say I got quite good knowledge of sidecar commerce. So sidecar commerce has a lot of benefits, I would say. So it has the role based setup. So you can set up your shop, you can set up your authoring, and definitely you can also set up your minions. So what is that? What are those is basically those are your role. So if you configure a server as a shop, for example, then uh, that that server can be treated as a storefront. So what is storefront? Or I would say shop means, you can buy your product, you can do whatever the things you need to do in a online system. So that is your shop. What is authoring? Sometimes you also need to set up a commerce engine as a authoring role. So authoring roles means you need to do certain authoring part. So if you have an authoring application, that authoring application might need some sort of data, commerce data, as necessary to support the maybe the admin user or maybe content editor, whatever. So those data will be provided through that role. Again, you can configure the same commerce engine as a minions. And when you will configure a commerce engine as a minions, then you basically can do a lot time consuming, or time consuming task you can run through that role. So yeah, so considering all of this fact, site core commerce is basically very scalable, and I would say very highly sophisticated application. So you can definitely go for that if you already have enough money or capacity or capability. You can definitely should, I would say, go with Sidecar Commerce. And Sidecar Commerce, in terms of extension point, it it is awesome, just outstanding. You can do whatever you really need to do. You can, you know you can even do or configure the system. Those are really not necessary for you, so you can just get away those components or those things from the sidecar. So sidecar allows you to do that. So yeah, so that's all basically sidecar. So now, uh, what is commerce light, or you can say light commerce, that I am going to describe today? Actually, my plan is to create 4 or 5 videos, or maybe even more, where I'm going to go through how we can develop a light commerce, and from there, how can we fully build and deploy, so that we can our client can use that. Client means any web application can use that, and can give the commerce functionality to their users. Actually, when I want to talk with commerce or this domain, then that is actually not that simple. It has a lot of complexity, a degree of complexity it involves. So definitely, it's sometimes very challenging to make the conversation shorter. Okay, so the idea is, now what I'm going to tell you is. Okay, so sidecar commerce is already there. .NET core based application. I am a .NET guy. So if you see my experience, I almost have 12 plus experience in .NET stack. So I'm not saying that I hate .NET. So I am actually basically, I would say, predominantly I'm a .NET guy. But what I was thinking in this lockdown period is, what if the commerce engine that we have, Sidecar Commerce, yeah, I mean, it has a lot of functionality, a lot of scalability, and everything it has. What if we bring, I mean, I have the Sidecar Commerce knowledge. So, what if I develop a lightweight commerce engine? um, I'm not, just taking the solution from Sitecore, not like that, but I have the knowledge, so I'm going to implement a entire new solution. And definitely, I know that there are a lot of things that we really don't need it, or I can say 90% of the components really don't need that. So if I compact all of those things in a small application, and in that case, I'm not going to take .NET Core or .NET, because they are already there, so you can do that. What if I port those changes to a new platform like Node? So Node.js is nowadays very very popular. Why it is popular? If you search in Google, then you're going to get a lot of results based on different dimensions. But basically, it has a lot of powerful things inside. So it is a JavaScript engine, and it is really easy. That is number one. Scalability, it's platform independent, and it has a lot of other things. You can have a lot of different free components. You can add that, and a lot of things you can do. And basically, as I told you, this is a JavaScript, so that is really really easy. So I'm going to, if you see this solution will already have in front of you. So today, so I'm going to create 4 or 5 videos, as I told you. So today I'm going to describe, because I started developing this solution since uh, today is 14th of April. So 11th of April, so 3 days now I started working. And I'm not actually fully working with this solution, because I have a job. I normally do full time, even more, for even more, not full time, even more. I have to do work, and then I got some time, spare time, you can say, and then I exploit my time to implement this kind of solution. So you can see here, let me go through until which point I actually implemented that. So before that, let me jump into the postman and see which endpoint I completed already. So now, so this is get. So the get endpoint, you can see. um, okay, let me clear the table first, and then it would be better for us. So I have two tables. So I am using MongoDB as a database, you can see here. So in the MongoDB, yeah, I mean, DB is up to you. So the database configuration would be there inside the application. So you can basically use any kind of provider you want. Okay, so MongoDB. So let me delete this data that I have inside that. So you can see here the very first or basic thing, I would say, I am using right now two collections. Number one is cards, and the database name is Commerce Engine. So in the cards collection, right now it doesn't have anything. And the products collection, this is basically the collection where I'm assuming that you're going to store your products. So yeah, so I actually need to discuss a lot about that. Product collection is the place where commerce engine basically take the data. So whenever a user try to purchase an item, then the engine will look for that product in that table. Okay, so I'm using MongoDB, and I hope that to get the data from this table would be faster. So why I'm thinking about the performance right now is because, just think of a scenario that you are going to give the content to the user. Basically, user is browsing different products, and you click a product, and then you can see the details of that product, and from there you can add that product to your cart, and then later on you can check out. So that's the basically a e-commerce process, right? So yeah, I mean, if you think of a scenario where thousands of people are browsing your website, then performance is the key here. How quickly you are going to uh, give the products or list of products, and how fast it loads. So considering all of the scenario, a lot of things can be done. You can put your static content in a CDN, right? So that is basically people always do. Number one. Number two, you can use a indexing system, not in the database. So you can use Solar distributed indexing system. You can use Lucene, whatever, but those different things, those are the extension point. Sidecore commerce gives you this kind of facility, quite widely. So here I am just using a product table or collection in Mongo cloud, and that is also not bad. So well, so these products collection can be used in commerce engine. So you can think of that this products table, you can say, is not going to use in displaying those products in the website. There would be separate maybe indexing system, or maybe a Solar or whatever the system, where we are going to maintain the same copy of the products, so that the content can be displayed in the website very fast. So that is the concept. Look, a lot of things will automatically come if I want to discuss about this commerce solution. Okay, so this is the product. So right now I have only three products, static product, you can see. And that's important entity, I would say, or table, the cards. So that's that. So I already removed the cards, product should be there. And now if I go here, and this is a get in point, you can see. Okay, so let me go a bit back. So card is not there. So here get current card. So if I now execute that, so basically you're gonna see a empty card returned. So why it is empty card? Because I am as a user. So I am a user because if you see in the cookie, it says this card ID. So this ID is automatically generated from the backend system. So the light commerce that I have developed, or I am actually working on, so I make sure that each of the user will have a unique card ID, and that ID will be stored in the cookie for around a month. You can configure that. So based on that, you can see there is nothing in your card. So basically, if you have a web application, so you will see the card is empty, because your empty card state represents this data. So it doesn't have any lines, means your product, it doesn't have any components. So components is your extension point. So you can add you can see also this is a collection. So you can actually add as many component as you need based on different features. And it doesn't have any error, you can see that definitely, because it doesn't have anything. Now go forward and add. So this is basically the same card in point, but it is now a posting point, where you can see I have a data. So data, this is a format, standard format. So I am providing a product ID. So I have to make sure the product ID is there in this table, because that will be kind of a reconciliation, or you can say a checking going to happen in the commerce engine side. So it should require a kind of reference point from where it can check whether the product is valid or not, or whatever the thing you need to do. So this is the product ID. You can see the quantity and fulfillment option. So on for delivery, two for pickup. So that's kind of my data. So now if you execute that, then um, it will return back some sort of data to you. So now you can see every time if you play with your card, you will get a latest updated card. So what we just did is we have added on product to your card, and you'll see the response or your card state. So similarly, if you now execute the get, it should also give you the same exact data that you had before here. So now here you can see, let me elaborate this one and probably we'll finish that today. And yeah, I have developed uh, 4 basic endpoints so far, and we have definitely need another 4 or 5 or even more endpoints to support end-to-end scenarios of your commerce solution. So I will gradually do that, and I will definitely describe that. But for now, I have 4 endpoints. I'll give you the idea, and then I'll leave today. And next day, I will start explaining all the implementation, side. So yeah, so here you can see the card object, and you can see the ID here. This ID is the MongoDB ID. We don't need to bother about that. So this is the ID we will be looking forward. And then you can see the lines, and the same data I can now see here as well. So let me show from here, because that will give you a lot of explanation. So here you can see these lines. If we expand the line, so this is array, this is an array, and you can see the product ID, quantity, unit price, quantity. You can see the data I have passed through this. So quantity and price. So I am not going to give any price information, because that would be stored in your database or your system. So from here I pick that, okay, the price is 300, and your line total would be 600 definitely. And then okay, sorry, let me expand that. And then importantly, say the line itself has a component list. So this is, I previously told you, component is always kind of your extension point. So in the component you can see it has specific information for that particular line. So right now I have a card line component where you can see some details about that product, and then you have a fulfillment component as well, that basically give you, okay, so that basically give you the type of the product. So if you add that product as delivery or pickup, so that information is based on that. And you can see here there is error. Right now it doesn't have any error specific to this line. It might have different errors, so that is also be encapsulated in a different collection. So I currently have only one line, so that's that. And then you can see this component is your root component in your card object. So in the component, so the earlier component was your line component. So you can have your own different encapsulation, or you can say data based on your line. And this component is your global component based on the card itself. So it has a different, it is also a collection. And you can see the very first one has delivery fulfillment component, and it has an array. So because right now we have chosen one item as delivery option 2 means pickup, so that's why this delivery is empty. But you can see here this the other component I have, pickup fulfillment component, it has online. So for example, if you have 5 items in your cart and 3 of them delivery, 2 of them pickup, then you are going to see those line information here, so that when you have the cart object itself, and you are going to convert that cart object to your order object, then it encapsulates all the little information. So this is your fulfillment. And then this is the total cart total component, so that will encapsulate all the information about your total, your adjustment, and definitely the grand total. And that's all. So right now I only have added one line item, so I did not proceed with other operations. So definitely user, then for example, as a user I only have added on item, and then I am going to check out. Before checkout, what I need to do is I need to put my delivery details, or you can say at shipping. So since this is a pickup, so definitely I'm going to add my shipping, right? So let's do that. Awesome. So you can see here now this line, definitely the same data that I just show you. But here you can see cart shipping address. You will see this shipping address is also be added as a part of your component. So basically what does it mean is, if you go here cart again, and let me expand them all. And then you can see here this component on to that I already have told you total. And as a fourth component, we have added that cart shipping address component. So this information is important. Why? Because when you are going to ship that information, then you need to have this information. And definitely when there will be the concept of billing, because there we always provide a billing address as well in the entity, so that the company can bill you based on that. So normally shipping address and billing address we provide the same. In the website you might have a kind of checkbox that, hey, please use the same address as shipping and billing. Then that will also go in your billing address. But for now I have endpoint add billing address, and this is the last endpoint so far I covered. So if I now add this information, for example, okay, so it is sending the request, and you're going to see that as a last component, this name card billing address component is important. So look, every component has a certain structure. It has a common thing, name. That is why it is important, because later on when you are going to parse the data, then you need to know that, okay, what piece of information about this. So this object, for example, so then you can say, okay, this is actually card line component, so you can map to your real object with that. So that's why it is really important to maintain this kind of structure. But you understand how it works, right? So this is until, and now maybe you can, what you can do is, since you already have shipping billing, then you can go with your payment. Then I would have a new endpoint kind of checkout or payment kind of thing, and from there finally it will convert the cart to order. So those part will be covered later. But next day what I'll focus you basically is, so far you see those four endpoints is really important. So I'm going to cover that how I implemented those thing in this node application, and how it going to support your different commerce in terms of your extension point and everything. Okay, so next video, let me give you a heads up about the next video. So next video, what I'm going to describe here is, if you see the organization of my project, then you'll see different things. So first of all, you'll see this feature. This is right now, it is actually empty. I did not put anything here because I am working totally the foundation level or layer. So later on when the extension point come, so you are going to add a new feature, for example, then that feature will be activated. So you are going to add your new component inside these features. And foundation, yeah, you'll see a heap of things here. So for example, in the foundation we have the entity, and then we have the environment. So right now I have the shop environment, I have the configuration for shop. And then in the pipeline, that's the magical, or you can say the magic part, where everything is happening as a part of pipeline. So right now you can see I have different add cart pipeline, add fulfillment pipeline, create pipeline, get cart pipeline, load cart pipeline. So all of those pipelines actually works. So what is pipeline? Pipeline basically holds a collection of blocks, or you can say collection of processes. So I'm going to describe all these architectural things and how I approach those things in Node, because Node is basically JavaScript. So it's really hard to implement the thing that you saw, or you can say that you got in .NET, because I'm a .NET guy. When I tried to convert that to Node, or you can say JavaScript, it took me a lot of pain, believe me. So but yeah, because Node now support ECMAScript 6, so it also has kind of object oriented things. So it was not that bad. And yeah, so you'll see all a lot of things. You can see the utility and also different route thing. And yeah, so I'm going to give you the full I would say technological, or you can say architectural point of briefing next video. And then I will also show you how the full thing, or you can say four endpoints that I already have covered, how it works together. So I'm going to give you that description, and then maybe fourth video, when the light engine will be completed, then maybe three or fourth video will be covered the commerce engine part. And then we'll start building a small client application, maybe React based application, from where we're going to consume this commerce engine. And we are going to do the same thing, like adding a card, adding a product to your card, then fulfill, and then definitely check out, delivery, everything. Okay, we will also implement a payment gateway here, and then I'll also show you how you can actually implement different payment gateway in your commerce engine as well. So everything should be really interesting. Hope you are going to follow the video. So see you soon. Okay, see you. Bye bye.